My name is Anya, and I am a product owner. And today, my goal is to take you on a journey, on my journey with the roadmap. Um, Regarding the roadmap, this is a critical tool. It's very popular when you are a product owner. However, when you go on conferences, you are not seeing people talking about their experience with working with the roadmap. And here I am, and here is my example. So, your takeaways from today. I will speak about the challenges and how I overcame there. I will show you how to convince your clients, because you have to understand that not all clients will know what the roadmap is. So, how to convince your clients to use the roadmap on the regular basis. I will give you the insight on how you could engage your team, your software development team, on managing the roadmap. And last but not least, I will share the lessons learned, as I learned a lot during the last year. So, what is the roadmap and why it is so crucial to use it? I truly believe that great product owners focus on the results and problems, while the great ones focuses on the outcomes. So, what is the outcome of the roadmap? So, the roadmap helps you to present, set, and switch the priorities. And in our role and in the agile world, when the priorities are changing, this is very important to put it and to use the roadmap and to present it well. The second thing, it serves as a communication tool. And the last but not least, the roadmap provides the contents around the team's everyday work. And here, I would like you to think about Daniel Pink's book, Drive, and the goal. So something that helps us to work better, and it's very important, especially for people who work in the creative world, like we do in the software development. Roadmaps are built by product managers, product owners, and they represent the large areas of software development. My first insight here: don't undervalue the importance of a roadmap, as I did. My current project started last year in August. My first roadmap, because there were a few roadmaps, was created in January, after a couple of months. I will not tell you why this happened, but I will tell you about the outcomes. And when I was to start the project again, I would simply kick it off from building the roadmap. And this is what I recommend you to do it. Don't delay building the roadmap. Once I built it, it was very challenging for me to work on it. In order to make the roadmap work and serves you, your team, and your stakeholders, it has to be updated. It has to show what's happening in the future and what has been delivered. So here it is, my calendar. As you can see, it's very challenging for me to find the time to work in Jira. I am product owner. And it was even more challenging for me to work on my roadmap. So what I did, I created a blockers. So the meetings, the time slots in pink or in Solomon, depending what you believe the color is, represent the blockers for the roadmap. It, of course, doesn't mean I was working on the roadmap every day for an hour, but it worked very well from the psychological point, because I knew that whenever I need, I have a slot in my calendar and I can use it for the roadmap. Roadmap is said to be a living strategic document, so it has to be updated. So please bear in mind and please prepare yourself for working with the roadmap. The second thing, it's not easy to work with the roadmap. There's a product management insights, and they did a survey. And it occurred that 49 respondents shared that one of the biggest challenge as a product manager, product owner, is to work with the roadmap. And I confirmed their choice and their response. So what was challenging for them? roadmap should be aligned with your business goals and business vision, the vision of your company. However, when you are working with the external companies like STX does, you have to make sure that features you are delivering present the maximum value. So what I do, I use the last sprint technique and I love it. Whenever I would be asked that, Anya, this is the last sprint, I know that the features we will deliver in this last sprint will represent the maximum value. I don't know if you remember this scene. This scene, I love it. It's probably one of the best scenes in the Game of Thrones. And whenever I am challenged, I remind myself this scene, and I then think that it's gonna be okay. There's no problem you can't solve. And it feels much better for me to work with challenges and problems. Next. For me, product owners are the sellers. We sell ideas to our clients. We sell features to software development team. And after a couple of years working with the developers, I believe that I can sell anything. In order to work with the roadmap and make it work, actually, you have to share the roadmap regularly and widely. As I told you, I delight creating the roadmap, and it has very negative consequences. My team, my client, didn't see the need of having it. They actually didn't care. So we started showing that it's needed. With the client, what have we done? We used the review, the sprint review, to present the roadmap. This was the end of the meeting. I simply presented the roadmap, summarized what was delivered in the last sprint, and presented the goals for the next sprint using the roadmap. And the clients got used to seeing it and using it. With the team, at the beginning it was difficult, but then it went very smoothly. I drew the roadmap and put it in our room, in the central wall, so that they could see it. And I didn't expect they would like it so much. So what they did, they didn't look into Jira. They were checking the roadmap on their wall and seeing what's gonna happen. They were, of course, challenging me. Whenever something changed and I didn't update the roadmap, I got questions. Of course, they were checking what's gonna happen in the next sprint, so the context I was talking at the very beginning. They were updating the roadmap, as you can see, striking through the stuff which was done, updating the roadmap if we delayed the software, adding the feature and updating it by themselves. They were discussing the roadmap. So for me, engaging the team in imagining product roadmap is probably the best thing that happened in the last couple of months. Use your roadmap for the communication. I will be a rebel here. Whenever it comes to present the blocker, forget about the Jira, forget about Skype, forget about mail. Nothing works so well than the roadmap. Imagine a client. They want to see their desired feature. They knew that it's going to happen in 2 sprints, and they are seeing a star telling them, stop, there is a blocker, and we are blocked because something was not delivered, and it's on you. Until you unlock it, we will not be able to start working on the feature you want so badly. The second action regarding the roadmap is prioritization, planning. After a couple of weeks and updating the roadmap, it has to be updated. It happened to me that there were some features which were being moved down. So ask yourself a question: do we still need it? I believe that you can also set a threshold. If your feature is being moved 5 times in a row, you can forget about it. At the very beginning, when I started working with the roadmap, it was a very simple concept for me. I thought I knew everything. Then I wanted to learn more. There was something missing in this story, so I started digging, I started reading a lot and learning. And it happened that I made a lot of mistakes. It is said that roadmap should be built around challenges. The challenges your customers are facing and challenges that the software you are going to build will solve for them. At the beginning, my roadmap was all about the epics. And when we approached till the end of the project, it was all around the features. It is said that you shouldn't put the dates, the deadlines on your roadmap. I put the sprints, I put dates, everything there. There were a couple of reasons. The first one is that it worked very well with my client. They needed to see the date because they were sharing the date and the features, the details to other clients. And it was very helpful for them to see the date. So I couldn't remove it. If I would remove it, we could forget about the roadmap. Regarding the features, since I delayed it, and I needed the roadmap, it was very obvious for me that I should use features. Now I would work on the challenges, but again, features were helpful also for our clients. They could see exactly when their features are being built. And my recommendation, my hint for you is don't follow the rules blindly. Whenever you have a tool you are not confident, you are not comfortable with using, make it work for you, for your project, for your clients, stakeholders, wherever. You can't use the requirements if it won't work. Don't follow them. Play with the tools and make them work. Guys, I will be very happy to listen to the stories. If you have any experience working with the roadmap, here I am, and you can approach me and we can talk about it, because I love to hear people talking about their experience. And this is my last hint for you. Share your stories. There's a lot of people waiting for inspiration, waiting for help. And use AgileByExample to share those stories. Thank you, guys. Thank you, AgileByExample.
I'm really used to roadmaps being really high level, like consisting of milestones only. Do you suggest that they should be more detailed? And is it a matter of vocabulary, or rather the roadmap should be like a dashboard of Jira consisting of blockers, stories, current problem, issues, so on?
So you should start from your project. Oh gosh. So in general, when you are working in the product company, they build the roadmap in advance, couple of months in advance. They are discussing the goals. So now this is the moment where big product companies like Skype or I don't know, Amazon are discussing what they are going to deliver. It wouldn't work in my project. My project was changing so fast and so actively that the goals we built a year ago are no longer valid, because there were new blockers and we were adjusting to new reality. Jira would work, but there are we faced some problems, like not all people had access to Jira. So we had to come up with that document, and I went for Excel. Everyone has it, and we put it on the Google Drive, and everyone had access to this document. So in general, the roadmaps are built around big blocks of features. Then they are presented to smaller teams. Teams cut them and deliver. My project was a bit different. We are a service company. We are not a product company, even though we build products. So I had to adjust it to the needs of the client. And this is what I did. But this is general rules. Big blocks, challenges, and blockers either in Jira or wherever tool you use. There are a couple of tools. Unfortunately, there's not a good tool which is free of charge. You have to pay for them. So Excel was the best fit for us. But you know your project, and it can happen that there are better solutions you can use.
And the level of the details of the roadmap, how did it, was it the same? Was it decreasing with time, the perspective?
It was increasing. At the beginning, it was all about epics, so big features like, I don't know, integrating with or allowing the user to pay for the stuff they were buying. And then when we were approaching till the end of the project, almost all epics were done in the 90%, but still there were some couple of small features which we were set to deliver. And for the client, 90% of delivery doesn't tell anything. They wanted to know what exactly is missing and what are the features we are going to work.
Thank you. Thank you again.